Hey there, Wondering Watchers. Welcome to this Pick a Card love reading, which explores how things are turning around for your love life. If this video found you, then you probably have been wondering when luck will roll your way when it comes to love. Maybe you tend to end up being friend-zoned, or you're over the Netflix and chill situationships, or perhaps you're tired of jumping from one serious relationship to another. Whatever your situation may be, this reading reveals what you need to know about how your love life is getting a makeover. Keep in mind that these cards only provide perspective, and it's your choices and your actions that lead to your ultimate truth. You have agency over your life, and you make the decisions about how you experience it. For those of you ready right now to see how the universe is flipping the switch on your love life, the link to each reading is in the description box below. In front of me are 4 piles of cards with the Wheel of Fortune from each facing up, so you can get a feel for the artwork in the different decks. In pile number 1, we have Paws Tarot. It's a cat-themed tarot deck. In pile number 2, we have Trick or Treat Tarot. In pile number 3, we have Modern Love Tarot. And in pile number 4, Tarot Disassembled. So go ahead and pick the pile of cards that you feel drawn to the most for this reading. If you don't get the messages you're hoping for in a specific reading, then simply pick another pile. If you don't receive any of the messages you're hoping to hear in any of the readings, then it may not be for your best and highest good to hear such messages at this time. Trust your intuition to lead you to the right reading for you. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time to review your choices. Once you've made your decision, go to the description box and click on the link for the corresponding pile. Now it's time to tap into the cards, choose your love life makeover tarot adventure, and let's make magic happen. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 1, those who picked Paws Tarot, to reveal what you need to know about your love life makeover. So group number 1, let's take a look. So when it comes to your love life, you may have had a lot of crushes. Maybe you're currently having a crush on someone. Maybe you get caught up in the could have beens or could be, would be's, like really soaking in the emotions of yearning for a love connection. You have here the Moon. So group number 1, when it comes to your love life, it may be that you have some self-doubts, some fears. You might let others lead the way or make certain decisions. But there is a sense of anxiety that is almost like, for some people, it feels like good, like getting butterflies in your stomach. So there's a sense of fear, or has been a sense of fear, but also kind of it's part of that that sense of feeling crushed or crushes, that kind of fairy tale kind of situation. For some of you, it may be that you, like, the closer you become to reality of something happening or confirmation one way or the other, it may be that you tend to pull back from the person or the situation, because it's more like the dreamlike state or the feelings that of like that you feel intensely is almost directing how you've been moving towards love or not. You have here the Seven of Swords. So Group number one, it may be that in the past you've encountered some people who have not been upfront about who they were or what their intentions are. Perhaps you've been a little bit afraid of conveying what your intentions or desires are as well. Maybe because you want to seem like cool, or maybe you're afraid of scaring someone off, or you're just caught up in those feelings of that sense of a crush, that like sense of like keeping it secret, keeping it to yourself, or keeping it mysterious. But there is a sense of however you've been doing in your love life that it could be worse than what you've had. But keeping things secret, or kind of having a like no defined kind of clarity almost makes it that it's like a moving target where you can kind of be comfortable or find comfort in the non-definition of certain feelings or connections. So here you have the Seven of Pentacles. So in terms of your love life makeover, it's almost as if you are realizing, or have been realizing, that whichever way you've been investing yourself emotionally or mentally, physically, when it comes to your love life, it's time and energy that you're spending. It's something where, regardless of how you're approaching it, it's still taking up precious resources of your attention, your focus, your energy, and you're starting to recognize that maybe it's about the practicalities of it as opposed to the crush, the feeling, the kind of, I don't know if it's heart-wrenching longing or yearning, but just there's more to the fantasy, or there's more to than just the mystery behind it, but the actual, like the practicalities of actually connecting with someone, doing some, physical things, and compatibility. You've got here Three of Cups. So group number one, it may be that the best way that you are taking advantage of your love life makeover is just feeling comfortable with the people in your environment, hanging out with friends. Almost a sense of just, there might be that possibility of a friendship blooming into something, maybe something that you didn't even really think about. I know for my husband and I, when I first met him, I was in this Page of Cups state for someone else. So my husband and I, before we were even interested in each other, because I was kind of interested in someone else, I was just hanging out with him as someone in my friend group. And then, eventually our friendship developed and something kind of came about from that. So I see kind of like that concept here. And I'm going to pull one more card for tarot. We have here the Three of Pentacles. So I do see like you're turning your love life around by really being active, really taking part in that connection, the physical doing things. Perhaps it's hobbies, perhaps it's going on trips, or doing puzzles with people. But I see that this concept of this friend group, networking, possibly even, co-workers, that is really turning your love life around for you. So we have this communicate, receive, and express the truth. So group number one, you may encounter situations where you don't necessarily want to reveal your cards, and that's fine. I think you don't need to. I think people in general, when they're learning about each other, don't need to kind of explain or spill their guts or tell every detail that they're thinking to the other person, but to kind of, just be respectful, know what your boundaries are, be respectful, and kind of be kind. And kind of, I would say in this Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles situation, everyone's kind of just being themselves and doing what they're, what they believe is right and feel like is the best approach to things. So kind of communicating that without any fears or kind of deep emotional connection to whether someone would agree or disagree, but just kind of just being there, hanging out, and kind of chipping in to, what everyone else is doing, being part of it, and communicating who you are in the process. And it's almost like the true you, the real you, as opposed to like perhaps this imagined or fairy tale version of you in love will kind of come out. So here we have apology, forgiveness through mutual understanding. So group number one, whether you already know it or not, this idea of like a mutual understanding and not really taking things personally is key when it comes to your love life. And I would say relationships in general. People have, disagreements, arguments. And for the most part, it might, how you communicate something, it might not really seem like a big deal, but I feel for like when it comes to you, maybe you kind of replay what's said in your mind or have been doing that. This kind of, again, that concept of like a fairy tale dream-like version of it, and almost like role playing or imagining what people meant or actually meant, or but if you are in this kind of like just friends hanging out and you just wanting to contribute to what everyone's doing and the good times and so forth, if a disagreement comes about, it's almost as if this concept of receiving and express the truth and forgiveness through mutual understandings, it's kind of like, oh, hey, I don't mean to like upset anyone, but my understanding of X, Y, and Z is this. But I'm open to learning more, like that concept of being open and kind of saying what your thoughts are, but also being open to what other people's thoughts might be. What's true for you might not be true for someone else, or what's true for you could, there could be other truths that are equally valid. So I feel that's how, key in communication. So really focusing on this concept of how you want to be, it's almost like how you treat others and how you want to be treated when it comes to colleagues and friends, and just, people almost on the, just being on the same level, and kind of working through disagreements just by being open to, I like to say that I'm open to the possibility of being wrong. I invite it. Why not? Learn something new. So let's see how else your love life is turning around for you, group number one. Have shine bright like a candle. You will make it through this. So group number 1, there is a sense of like you might in this Page of Cups, moony type of emotion, moony or moody events, kind of start thinking about, extremes, life, death, and so forth. And ultimately, any situation that's uncomfortable, any situation, especially Seven of Swords situation, where you want things to kind of not to be well defined or understood, or maybe have wanted that in the past, those happen, but it will be short-lived. And honestly, it's almost as if you recognizing that those uncomfortable moments are few and far between and really not as important as you shining your internal light, and you showing the world who you truly are, because that it's like you're recognizing that those moments that you shine and people can see the true you and fully understand your intentions, you're kind of recognizing that those moments are more powerful and more meaningful than, mistakes, misunderstandings, times when you might want to like hide in the corner type of thing, or not be seen by someone. So what else do we have? You have, I wonder what will happen next. Ready to adventure, precipice of change, pause before action. So group number 1, your love life is changing in a way where that anxiety you might feel at something new, those butterflies become more of less anxious and more kind of like, it's almost like you are prepared for it. It's less like you're going to a surprise party and more like you're ready for an experience. You're ready for that next adventure. You're ready to kind of, be in a comfortable situation, an uncomfortable situation, and actually participate in getting to know each other and showing who you really are. You have this intuition card. So that concept of like the butterflies and anxiety that you may have felt before, it's almost as if the fear and doubt and like the emotional tie to the uncertainty, it's as if those are kind of falling into the background, and this sense of like knowing is kind of starting to come to the forefront. This concept of like receiving and expressing the truth, your truth, you being able to know it and sense it faster, and kind of get in front of things. You have this pain card. So I feel like there is this, like that concept of like a crush and that like longing and heart-wrenching aspect. I feel like that is a sensation that you know instinctively. But your love life is turning around by you recognizing those feelings, knowing the discomfort, and knowing that it comes from a place of like trying to mask your truth, or trying to like be whatever the other person wants you to be. And I feel like this pain here, I feel like it's like melting away and allowing for your intuition, your truth, your inner truth to kind of take the forefront here. But I do feel like these two cards very, very well kind of represent what's going on with the Page of Cups and the Moon, and even the Seven of Swords, of just like not wanting to be detected, not wanting things to be clarified, because it makes it even, that discomfort even more real. But that seems to be like you choosing to kind of show who you really are, recognize that those uncomfortable moments are temporary and meaningless in the whole larger scheme of things, and really grabbing onto the like, let's live life, let's kind of see what new adventure we can have. These things are becoming more clear and easier for you to recognize and handle. So let's see what else we have here. We have this Patience card. So group number 1, in your love life, you may have some kind of desire for something to kind of push through, and to know what someone's thinking or feeling, or like to have the answer, so that you know how much effort and how much attention or to put into something. But ultimately, if you're in this like 3 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles type of energy of just like being there, enjoying the present, contributing to the good times, contributing to whatever the goal is, and kind of allowing the universe to kind of work its magic, that's really key in your love life turning around. You have this card of hope. So group number 1, how you kind of, it's like you have this opportunity to reimagine what it is like to have this true love connection, not the like high school, grade school type of unrequited love, this kind of crush that, someone never really recognizes you, but maybe one day far off in the future. But a true vision of what it's like to connect, to be who you truly are, and to kind of be you in a world where you are happy and in the present moment and kind of showing your best self, and they're doing the same. So the universe doesn't want you to lose hope. They want you not only to have hope, or the universe wants you to have hope, but also wants you to kind of be more practical about it, or come to the more honest aspect of what you'd want in love. Not even honest, I'd say the more whatever it is you want in love, like whatever you hope for, in 5 years of being with someone. Like, what is your idea of love? What is it that you do for each other? Is it by spending time? Is it by buying gifts? Is it, actually kind of, not actually kind of, but figure out what that is for you, and kind of have that be your standard. So let's see what else we have here. We have this cheer on and heal. So group number 1, for some of you, turning your love life around might require actually kind of going back and healing some aspects of the past. For some of you, that might just be kind of talking about that, something with your friends, or those feelings with your friends. For others of you, maybe it requires speaking to a counselor and really working through some fears that you have, working with your inner child. Or, for others of you, it's doing tarot card readings for yourself. And we have this Pisces sensitize. So this Page of Cups and this moon really fits this Pisces sensitize card here. I believe the moon card is for the sign of Pisces for the major arcana. But I would say for you, you know that there is a part of your emotions that you can get lost in. And here, this concept of like healing those aspects of the emotions will help you be more in touch with your intuition and separating out what is kind of your true intuition and what is I want to say, like that crushed aspect, the tortured soul aspect of your intuition. And really kind of this concept of this forgiveness through mutual understandings, perhaps that's part of the healing that turns your love life around. And so that you can like be open to feeling a true connection with this hope here, an honest, vulnerable connection, and not one that I would say, I'm going to take both of these, and not one that is based on, fears and doubt. Well, you have this connection card, and this is about honest connections. This is about knowing who you are, so that your likes, your dislikes, so that when you meet someone and you're actually in the present moment engaging with them, you recognize, oh, we both like music, we both like writing, we both like comic books, we both think rom-coms are super hilarious. Whatever that is, it's as if this is really key for your love life turning around. And this manifestation card, it's basically like you are the person turning things around. You having a better sense of self, kind of this is like aligning your heart chakra and your solar plexus and your root chakra, or is it your sacral chakra? But basically the aspect of confidence and love and sense of security. These are really key for you. Like knowing yourself, knowing what you're capable of, knowing how you interact with people around you, and just being you and shining your inner light. That is really a key part of you, your love life turning around for you. So let's see what else we have for you. Group number 1, we have harvest. Lovely things have been growing in your gardens. Let's gather the goods and celebrate. So here, that 3 of Cups, the traditional 3 of Cups, you see 3 women like celebrating around like the fall harvest. So I feel like you hanging out with your friends, enjoying celebrating a win that you have, maybe a win that your friend has, maybe your friend has like a new paint by numbers kit that you want to hang out and have some fun times with. Maybe you meet someone through your friend at this, paint by numbers event. Whatever it is, it's as if there are things that maybe in this harvest, gather the goods because good things have been growing. So it may be just seeing things in a different way or experiencing the life that you already have from a different perspective. Maybe part of your love life turning around. Maybe without you knowing, you've kind of been building a friendship or a connection with someone that you didn't know would be a romantic partner in the future. So let's see what else we have. We have this feel. It's important to feel your emotions, even if you feel like you understand them. So here, I get the sense you do feel your emotions. You are someone who feels emotions. But again, this concept of being like very sensitive to emotions, maybe sensitive to other people's emotions, and wanting to like tiptoe around, things that might upset them, or accept that they don't give you a lot because you're overwhelmed with your emotions for them. It's almost as if it's like the feelings that you're going to have, you're fine-tuning them and tapping into the important ones that help you grow as a person, and then connecting with another person in a positive way. Not saying that you connected in a negative way, or always bad, or always were the one pining, but more from living in the who you are and who you want to be, and not like some past version of you, or some scared version of you. You have hyena trickster vibes. So group number 1, when it comes to your love life, you might have some of these 7 of Swords tendencies. You might be very cunning. You might be able to observe things that other people aren't aware of. Perhaps you have you're an empath, and you have a good understanding of what people are doing without them thinking that you do. So I would say, to some degree, if you've taken that too seriously in the past, I think it's interesting. Yeah, these roll of the dice gambling vibes here. It's almost as if your love life is turning around because you are embracing those things. You're not afraid of how other people are going to feel. You're like trusting your intuition and more confident in what you're picking up on and what you reveal to others. I would say, to some degree, you're going to have to know this receive and express the truth. You're going to have to get a better grip on, you don't have to do anything, first of all, but your love life turning around, it really does kind of depend on how much you trust your intuition, how much you reveal about what you know, but also how much you share about who you truthfully are. That's that kind of give and take of information. That's something that is key for your love life. You have this sloth slowing down card. So like with this patience card, I feel like just being somewhere, just being aware, kind of being in the present and enjoying the moment, enjoying what you're doing, and not really thinking about what someone's thinking or feeling, or whether there's a connection or whether there's not a connection, and just kind of just slowing down enough to just be, and kind of just manifesting this sense of love and confidence, and just being ready for whatever adventure life gives you. That's really how your love life is turning around. So I'm going to pull 2 more cards for you, group number 1, and these cards might have yes or no answers. So if you have a yes or no question, you can ask. So let's see, this first one here. We have this empathy. It says yes, spring season water. This is equivalent to the Page of Cups. So I would probably guess most of you in group number 1, you are, again, that concept of being an empath. Perhaps you are a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio, someone who is very much gets involved in the mystery of things, or has been in the mystery of things. And you have this practicality. It says yes, Earth, and it also says time to slow down. So I believe this is the equivalent to the Queen of Pentacles. So making sure that it's kind of what I was saying in the beginning, is like almost a sense of the things like you were feeling and fantasizing and imagining, that kind of crush sensation, and turning things into like more practical, what you do and how you connect and how you act. That's really what these two cards are kind of saying to me. But also with this practicality of just addressing how you might be overwhelmed by emotions, and kind of healing those things and feeling your emotions in a way where you're welcoming it, and that sense of like fear and doubt and anxiety is not gone. It will never be gone. Those sensations exist for a purpose, to kind of throw red flags your way, or to kind of have you slow down and hesitate and take a look at things and kind of observe more. But to diminish them so that your light, your intuition, your kind of sense of being in the present, and you really kind of showing the real you and connecting with someone, that's really turning your love life around, or will turn it around even more. So this is what I have for you. I hope this provides a helpful perspective of how your love life is turning around. We'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 2, those who picked Trick or Treat Tarot to reveal what you need to know about your love life makeover. So group number 2, let's dive in. So you have here 10 of Swords. So group number 2, you have been disappointed in the past when it comes to love. Perhaps the way that you've approached love, or tried to either start a relationship or kind of deal with problems as they arise in relationship, haven't worked out. You've hit rock bottom. It seems like there's no solution, or you felt that there's no solution, or thought there's no solution. But the good news is basically it's like the worst is kind of behind you. You have here the 2 of Swords. So it may be that you have also kind of been like hesitating on doing anything. Maybe not wanting to decide on putting yourself out there, or just kind of like, it's almost like any decision you make or choices you pursue, you feel like those end up being dead ends, or so like maybe like, what's the point of even kind of doing anything? It's your prerogative to kind of not make a choice, to just like wait, just kind of protect yourself, keep peace. So I'll take these both. Why not? You have the Ace of Pentacles and the Hierophant here. So group number 2, whether you already know it or not, when it comes to your love life, there is going to be a new beginning. There are going to be opportunities for love coming your way. It does seem that for some of you, you may need to kind of, talk to a counselor, talk to a dating coach. For others of you, possibly just knowing like what your standards are, what rules are you putting in place. If there is, it's almost, it's not rules and as in someone else telling you how to successfully date, but rules that you live by, your morals, your sense of truth, your moral code, what you'll accept, what you won't accept, what your priorities are. And, for others of you, just maybe not necessarily focusing so much on love, but actually pursuing other things, other interests, focusing more on hobbies or careers, education. So we also have 6 of Wands here. So group number 2, there are going to be obstacles ahead when it comes to your love life, but things are turning around in the sense that your experience in the past has really sharpened your ability to kind of know what to avoid, how to handle certain situations, and possibly know when it's worth just walking away or not even getting involved. It's almost as if you now know better. And so you're in a better position to kind of stick to certain standards. Some people are just they're very, very much always texting back and forth with someone, thinking that if they text back, it means something. Maybe kind of have a limitation of how much you text, or, make it more communication over the phone, and know for yourself, but also knowing for someone, kind of conveying that to someone else. Almost not here are my rules, you have to adhere to them, but kind of just being upfront whenever some opportunity comes and someone wants your number. It's hey, let's switch numbers, but just so you know, not really a texter, I'm more of on the phone type of person. And so it's almost as if you're setting the bar for people beforehand. So they know what to kind of reach for, as opposed to you kind of trying to figure out what they're doing or just wait around or, type of thing. And you have here the Knight of Swords. So group number 2, if you've had issues with people kind of swooping in, kind of moving fast, kind of professing their love or trying to hook up with you really quickly and then disappearing, or kind of someone who is pretty much all about the action and adrenaline. It's almost as if you're going to spot these people. You're going to know. And it's almost as if you are turning your love life around by not trying to play by their rules, but getting them to play by yours. So you have declutter, letting go of old items, create a new sacred space for yourself. For those of you who are, this Hierophant is more spiritually directed, I would say ritualistically, getting rid of old, emails, deleting old emails, throwing away old, items of failed loves. If there's a sentimental reason why you're holding on to old things that didn't work out, perhaps think about that. Why is that the case? For this Two of Swords, there might be some people who haven't really cut out entirely people from their lives. This decluttering and kind of closing the door, or just letting in only what you want, as opposed and keeping out what you don't want, that's going to be really key to your love life turning around. You have this self-awareness, tapping into your higher self, questioning routines and patterns. I do think that is exactly what this Hierophant is in terms of their traditional role. It's getting you to kind of see the bigger picture, to kind of see and like how you fit into like this world and this universe. Are you trying to fit into someone else's universe, their version, their rules? Kind of how is it that you tend to maybe fall for the same type of people, or end up in certain situations of, hitting rock bottom and trying to just like not make decisions. So being aware of those things and kind of trying to find a way to ritualistically, if you can't actively get rid of old items or cut, not unhealthy relationships, but ritualistically getting rid of something. So we have nature communication, flower energies, fairy energies, elemental messengers. So group number 2, your love life is changing more than just decluttering and kind of recognizing old patterns. As you kind of become more centered, not distracted, not trying to solve problems that really aren't your problems to solve or outside of your control, or ones that you couldn't solve in the first place, you're going to be really more aware of your environment, being more in communication with your intuition, with animals, with plants, and kind of like that sense of yourself that maybe you hadn't tapped into in a while, that kind of not just your intuition, but just your sense of being and feeling, and like the energy between you and other things, like becoming more spatially aware, being more aware of your surroundings, being able to know, like, it's almost like when you're walking through a room and you like stub your toe on something, or your thigh hits the corner of a coffee table, or like you kind of like throw something in the sink and it just ends up splattering all over the place. Those sense of things are going to be less and less because you're more aware of how you're operating in your universe and kind of communicating with the things around you. And almost, I want to say even this nature communication can, it's almost as if people that you may have not been attracted to in the past, it's going to make you more like you're more curious about them, being open to new things, being like open to kind of new cultures, new perspectives, and just in general, people who maybe this Knight of Swords is like just passed you by, some like that you didn't even notice so quick. Maybe you're that Knight of Swords to some degree. For some of you, like kind of just, it's either yes or no, in or out. And it's almost as if the things that you weren't able to appreciate or see clearly, your love life is turning around, and you're noticing things, those opportunities, what's around you that you may have not noticed before. You have all must-have prizes, trying to please everyone. So to some degree, you may have like this Two of Swords, this kind of concept of not making decisions, just trying to keep the peace. Could just be to have all your options available, to make kind of almost like letting things linger, so that you didn't have to call things out as, to kind of be like, hey, I don't want to be connected with you. This isn't working. It's almost like just wanting to make everything kind of seem okay, and maybe just letting things just fizzle naturally. Once these kind of aspects of you picking up on your routines and your patterns and kind of getting rid of the things that don't serve you, like those things help you to recognize like it almost does no good to kind of not make a decision, to not kind of have standards, to not saying you don't have any standards, but not sticking to not kind of like cutting people off when they don't meet those standards. It's almost as you're kind of seeing that like you can't really emotionally invest in everyone a little bit to some degree, even though you kind of know in your heart of hearts that things aren't working or it's not for you. You're going to start kind of recognizing there's certain people that get gold stars, and there's certain people who, they need to kind of go back to a lower grade and take a different class, like almost like start over, but not with you. You have this anxiety card here. So the 10 of Swords and this 2 of Swords, it seems here that anxiety is really a big part of your love life, or it has been a big part of your love life. So knowing how to deal with anxiety, knowing how to sense it when it's coming on, against this Hierophant, a sense of like either getting counseling or at least recognizing certain routines and patterns of like, how do you deal with anxiety? Do you kind of just not face something so it lessens? There are kind of tricks for dealing with anxiety if you feel it coming on. If you have like, perhaps talk to like a professional, medical professional, mental health professional about that. But even I think I heard like if some a trick about like kind of putting your finger on the inside, like kind of sticking it in your ear and kind of gently putting pressure down on your ear, like downward, can address like anxiety in terms of like your nervous system and physical aspects, and then breathing and stuff. But it's something that, if this applies to you in the sense of like your anxiety is a big part of how you pursue love or don't pursue love, then definitely that's something to look in for you. You have this Ghost card. So group number 2, it seems like you may need to really deal with this past, this decluttering, getting rid of addressing old things that kind of maybe linger around, energy that lingers, so that you can really like become more like confident in going after what you want and being more connected with your environment and seeing like these new opportunities that can come your way. You have this Guarded card. So it's as if you coming up with the like, having those healthy and like practices, rules, rituals to really kind of safeguard yourself is key to you turning your love life around, as opposed to just almost it's like it's as if this 10 of Swords in your past, the things that your like heartbreak, vulnerabilities, those things haven't healed. And it's almost like approaching your love life in a state of like fear and hesitation. Addressing these things really helps you to not necessarily make the past disappear, but in a healthy way, kind of like protect your heart from a forward-looking approach, as opposed to just a defensive kind of assuming that something bad's going to happen, but more like on the offense, like kind of moving forward, being prepared. And you have this heartbreak. So I do feel like you turning your love life around, this love life makeover really does have to do with dealing with past heartbreak, ghosts from your past, exes, things that didn't work out, expectations you had, why you had those expectations. It's interesting though that you have these like cards of like more swords and air, and then fire and earth, but the water, like the cup cards, the ones that indicate emotion, aren't showing up there. But it's almost like you have in the past kind of just kind of thought, how can you protect yourself, as opposed to how can you really achieve the kind of connection that you want. And so I feel like you setting up these rules, these boundaries for yourself, these kind of guidelines and lifelines, knowing kind of what you're getting into beforehand is turning your love life around. So let's see how else your love life is turning around. You have this Mercury and Messages card. So group number 2, again, Mercury is about thought, intellect, communication. It does seem that how you think about love, or even talk to someone you're interested in romantically, there is something that you're conveying in that to other people, whether you know it or not. Maybe how you're framing things, maybe the tone of your voice, maybe you phrase things as questions more than statements. But I feel like you getting a grasp on how what your thought processes are, the routines and patterns that you tend to fall into, recognizing those, being aware of those, and kind of really working with ways to kind of recognize when that's happening. That's going to be very key for your love life. You have this 4th house of home. So it's really seeming like your sense of being comfortable in your own skin, without your thoughts kind of running away from you, or being comfortable enough to kind of just be there and observe and allow new experiences to kind of catch your attention and touch you in a way that makes you like say, yeah, I want to connect with that. That seems to be like very key to what's going on here. So we have this dating card, and group number 2, what's starting your love life around is just be open to dating, not necessarily finding the one, but just new experiences. Maybe nothing too serious, getting rid of old baggage in the process, and just having fun, just meeting, just getting to know someone. Not, it's making sure everyone knows, like, hey, you don't just get a prize for showing up on the date. I'm looking for someone who I can give a gold star to, or gets the gold star, who can, be 6 of Wands like you are. And it's almost as if like, kind of like that concept of just trying on different shoes and not making it so serious, is turning your love life around. Yeah, this manifestation card. This card here is definitely about your sense of self, your sense of confidence, peace in who you are. You can see like this is someone who may be dealing with anxiety or they have none. You wouldn't know, but there's a sense of calm there. And maybe there is a practice, like this could be yoga, it could be breathing exercises. It's a way to kind of even deal with your heartbreak, your heart chakra up here. Really kind of taking the energy around you and connecting with your environment, maybe even more with nature, and kind of building a strength, like an internal strength, as you are dating or before you're dating. It really does kind of depend on how much the Ten of Swords is still impacting your decisions, and how much anxiety in your past, and like how much you have been scarred by your love life in the past. But let's see what else we have for you, group number 2. We have this connect card. Reconnect with yourself, with your surroundings, and with your community. So this is very much like that nature communication and that manifestation, and even the Hierophant. Find out like who is your community, who is your safe base, who makes up that comfort for you for this 4th house of home. What is it like for you to feel comfortable with it, within your own skin? And let's see what we have. We have this focus card. Time to simplify, one thing at a time. What is most important to you right now? So maybe not dating multiple people at the same time, maybe kind of seeing how things go with someone, but like, nah, I think this is more like just keeping it light and simple, maybe even just hanging out, and kind of like if it's not working, if you don't feel the connection, like whatever your standards are, the rules that you want, taking maybe even more simple than that, figuring out what is most important to you right now. Is it dealing with your anxiety? Is it dealing with your thoughts? Is it dealing with your sense of security? Your sense of your beliefs? Then maybe going into what you want out of love, and the rules, your standards for who you date, and then getting into the dating. But it seems like this sense of building confidence, strengthening your heart, strengthening who you are as an individual is very key here for your love life turning around. So let's see what else we have. We have Giraffe, broaden the horizons. So it does seem like you are curious about what else is out there. And this sense of focusing on what's important to you, this aspect of creating a sacred space for yourself, looking at the routines and patterns you have, really being more in line with your higher self will help you kind of rise above things, to kind of see what's out there. Maybe kind of read up on what's out there, but from a safe distance. It's almost as if there is a need to kind of really look and learn and evaluate yourself and what you're looking for before you leap. So what else we have for you? We have Horse, galloping towards freedom. So Group number 2, I feel like this concept of this Knight of Swords, and it's almost like an idea, or I don't know exactly what the idea is, but it's kind of like if meeting the person is love at first sight, or you'll know right away if there's a connection, or it should be like instantly knowing this person's your soulmate. These concepts of like things that are happening quick, I feel like those ideas may be key to kind of what you've dealt with in the past in terms of dating and kind of needing to decide quickly. But I feel like you being able to kind of see what's out there, safely kind of know who you are and kind of see what's out there. And I feel like this galloping towards freedom is more for yourself as opposed to actually connecting with other people. It's almost as if when you're in a relationship with someone, you want to have a sense of independence to a certain degree, because you can't just, it's up to you, but having a sense of self and who you are, and then sharing that with someone, and them sharing their sense of themselves with you, really kind of strengthens a connection. But you need to kind of know who you are, and that concept of like losing yourself when you get in a relationship, that is less likely to happen if you stick with your, like, I'm going to spend Tuesday nights reading a book because that's what I enjoy doing. I'm going to go and hang out with my friends every Thursday evening, or and brunch on the weekends, at least, once a month. Knowing those things and sticking to those things about yourself that you enjoy, that's kind of galloping towards freedom. Those are like, it's almost like those priorities are taking place of these thoughts that of like how things are supposed to go, perhaps how quickly things happen, needing to kind of figure things out before you actually figure things out. It's almost like slowing things down to your pace. And even this galloping towards freedom in this Six of Wands, to me, it's not necessarily a race. It's more a sense of confidence, is that concept of galloping towards freedom. So I'm going to pull 2 more cards for you, group number 2. These cards, I believe, are yes, no cards. So you can ask 2 yes or no questions. But I'm going to continue with this reading to see how else your love life is turning around. So we have this action card. It says no, time to charge forward. This Knight of Swords. So I do get a sense of like, it's almost like a conflict of moving forward too quickly without really having a good sense of what's there, but just making things happen, just saying things or doing things, or pushing through without really knowing what the goal is, knowing what the purpose is or the sense of self is, versus this kind of ability to be comfortable within your own skin and just take in the environment, take in the surroundings, and kind of see what's there to explore in a very calm, collected manner. And you have this Wisdom card, and it says maybe. Taurus season, Earth. This is the equivalent to the Hierophant card of wisdom. So it's almost as if this sense of awareness, knowledge, higher purpose, this broaden your horizons concept, clashing against this like move now, do, don't, stop, go, like erratic kind of concepts. This interplay right here of kind of, these two concepts of just something that it has bloomed based off experience, like you have this past experience to really set a lot of the lessons in place, or set up a lot of lessons for you. If you can really recognize them, take the time to kind of like address what you've learned, what you've experienced, and kind of almost like identify what those lessons are. It's almost like the rules I was talking about, so that when you go forward, whether it's someone else trying to move too quick or kind of get in there right away, it's like, no, let's kind of learn about each other. Let's see if you like what I like, or if I'm interested in what you're interested in, or if what your interests are interests me. So this is what I have for you. I hope that this provides a helpful perspective of how your love life is turning around. We'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is a reading for group number 3, those who picked Modern Love Tarot, to reveal what you need to know about your love life makeover. So group number 3, let's dig in here. So you have the Ace of Swords. So group number 3, it may be that you have been very clear about what you want about, for love. Perhaps you have had like difficulties in the past, but you've really kind of decided that there is a certain perspective that you have about dating, and you want to be kind of clear about it. Perhaps with this Two of Pentacles, you really want to kind of, date multiple people at the same time. Maybe that's worked out well for you. You're kind of like the type of person that wants to perhaps have a good balance of fun, but still be responsible. The Three of Pentacles here. Perhaps you are more focused on like career or your finances, and like maybe your education and you making your way in the world, being recognized for whatever it is that you do. If you are someone that like creates things or makes things or builds things, whatever it is that you like want to put out there in the world and make money off of, it seems like that might come first. Perhaps for some of you, that might be the main place where you meet people. You have here the Hanged Man. So group number 3, it may be like you're just really kind of not in a major rush. Again, kind of focusing on your love life, and maybe just trying new perspectives, trying out new things, trying out like new ways to explore your spiritual side, just like learning about life, learning about yourself. You have a Strength card here, and really a sense of, it's almost as if you're changing your life by really changing your perspective of things and what your priorities are, and like coming to a good place of, self. You have the Knight of Wands here. So yeah, I feel like you're really putting yourself first, building yourself, your talents, what you want for yourself, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and then, wanting to go after the things that you want in life. And if that kind of includes dating and love, then, that's great. So let's see what else we have here. We have obsession. Focusing too much on one situation, need to take a step back. So perhaps in the past you had spent too much time on love, and really this new perspective of things is a big turnaround. You have fear, expecting the worst, afraid of failure, wasting time on negative thoughts. I feel like that aspect of the Hangman and the Strength card kind of just, and even this Ace of Swords, just recognizing some things just aren't for your best and highest good, and redirecting on yourself, your finances, your career. Let's see what else we have about your love life turning around. Group number 3, you have belong to your own dream, create your own life. So again, that concept of really choosing your own destiny, and creating the world that you want to live in, that you want to thrive in. You have changed in the night. You have changed quickly. So I feel group number 3, this perspective could be something that is drastic, a drastic sudden change from the way you have been. Maybe this obsession and fear, this was the way you were, but this Ace of Swords is like, I'm making a decision, I'm doing this. It could be just an epiphany that you had, but it is like almost like a decision to, like, this is the way I'm gonna approach things. I'm gonna approach my love life from now on. You have this Death card here. So yeah, it's basically the direction of your love life is changing in terms of like making that decision to let certain things go that just don't serve you. Making that decision is pretty much like, it's a very key in the turning point of your love life. And you have this Hunger card. So it does seem like this hunger, maybe it was something you thought in the past that a specific person could feel this hunger, whatever it is, or that just being in a relationship or dating in general. But it's almost as if you're kind of decided to shift this hunger to be more like striving to fulfill you, to kind of like fill yourself, like satiate yourself first, and then kind of go out and explore your desires on a full stomach. So it's almost as if there's a shift. You've decided to make a shift in your love life of kind of if there, I'm not saying you have a hole inside you, but that's the best, I guess, analogy I could make of maybe in the past filling a hole, like a need to be complete with other people, and kind of making a decision now to fill that hole with life experiences and shining like your talents, and focusing on your education, your career, you kind of stepping out and seeing what you're all about. You have this Trust card. So it may be in the past that you didn't really even trust yourself. This strength card here kind of indicates, having that trust or accepting that there's some give and take. But this concept of trusting yourself before you can trust others, I feel is also important for your love life turning around. And even this hanged man, this kind of like having a new perspective, slowing things down, and really being solid with yourself, solid with this new kind of approach that you're taking. That is kind of going to allow you to kind of go after what you want, as opposed to just like letting other people decide, or kind of letting other people pursue you. Yeah. I don't want to say like you were willing to take anything before, but just being more, I would say, discerning about what you want to go after. We have a self-worth card, so definitely this concept of knowing yourself, respecting yourself, going after your goals, and being in a place where kind of you know what you want, and so you know like who you want to, I'll say play with, but it's not playing, who you want to build your life with. You have this tension card here. So group number 3, it could be like in the past, whatever obstacles that you had when it comes to love, crushes, or dating, it really has put you in this position to kind of strengthen yourself. Like those obstacles, those discomforts, those lessons, it's really putting you in a more powerful position when it comes to your sense of, I want to say, confidence about who you are and what you want. And it's almost as if you're like still in a transition phase, especially with this, like you've changed quickly. It's almost as if you are trying to get a sense of you now and this perspective. It's almost, to me, when you go from like, if you've had braces, going from having braces to once you get your braces taken off and kind of like having that confidence to smile again, and almost like have that freedom, or even if like walking in high heel shoes for their first time, or like wearing a formal outfit. It's just like, it's uncomfortable, but you're getting used to the discomfort has toughened you up. And you have this South Node past. So I feel like, again, that tension in your past, those aspects are really helping to project you into like this stronger, more courageous, more kind of, I don't know if there's a different way to approach it, like just more confident you. So let's see what else we have. We have this self-respect. So I think this self-respect that you have, this self-worth, this self-respect, this sense of inner strength that you have, focusing on you, focusing on building yourself up. It seems to kind of be repeating here. But this change in the night, this thing, this kind of new perspective that you have that you're trying on. There might be still bumps in the road ahead because it's still a journey. And you have here the garden. You can see this person kind of lounging in their garden, kind of like building up that world that you want to live in, that aspect of who you are, what you enjoy doing, what you want to surround yourself with, like the world you want to play in. And then, yeah, it seems kind of like clear to me that you're really focusing on you, and it's going to be putting you in this position to go after what you want and choose what you want when it comes to love. You have expand. It's time to take up space and be your fullest, most layered and expansive self. So your fullest, like that hunger of filling you up with what you need to thrive. Let's see what else we have here for you, group number 3. You have nurture. It says, what do you wish to grow? How do you wish to be nurtured and cared for? What are your needs? Like your garden, focusing on your garden, and then know who you want to invite to have come play in your garden. So let's take another look at what else you have going for your love life being turned around. You have bison, abundance all around. So if you are focusing on your finances, your career path, and building up your world, that's great. Your garden, what your needs are, it seems like having this sense of self-respect, knowing your worth, being grateful for what you have and what you can accomplish, is really gonna really helps this sense of confidence and attracting what it is that you desire. It's almost like you'd be radiating this aspect of yourself, this aspect of self-worth, and knowing who you are. And you have this leopard, ambition and strategy. So definitely I see like these cards, the Ace of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, like you really like taking control over your life. And I want to say it's something like, again, it may come quickly. It may just be an epiphany. But it's something that does require like ongoing dedication to yourself, and kind of know what it is you want, and like to take your time as needed, because there are going to be opportunities for you to go after what you want. And it's almost as if it's more fulfilling for you if what you go after and what you're passionate about is something that is equally like someone who equally tends to their own garden, who kind of has focused on themselves. So it's an actual like sense of balance, partnership. So with this trust here, this give and take, the reciprocity between you two is more even-handed. So group number 3, these last 2 cards here, I'm going to pull out to see about your love life makeover. They should have yes or no answers on it, like more definitive answers. So if you want to ask a couple of yes or no questions, then these 2 cards are for that. but let's see what we have. So here it says yes. Yes, it says yes. Time is running fast. And so you have this leopard card here, and I was saying, like, take your time. But I feel like even if you feel like time is running fast, opportunities, like I said, will show up for you, and it's for you to decide how you want to kind of, how you want to do it. But it's almost as if you don't have to chase anything. That's the sense I'm getting. Like, opportunities you definitely need to be aware of when they pop up, but you don't have to chase anything. This manifest card is the equivalent to the magician card. You manifesting like what you want into reality in terms of yourself, your confidence, your abilities, your talents, your skills. And one more, we have maybe is the answer. It says integrity, air, and weeks. So I believe this is the equivalent to the King of Swords, which is interesting because we started with the Ace of Swords and ending with the King of Swords. This concept of like being very clear about priorities and almost having logic really pinned down when it comes to your love life, and knowing what's the best for you, and knowing that you've already been perhaps led a lot by emotions in the past, and making a very clear, decisive choice to focus on yourself, on securing your future, who you are, showing your talents, building up your world, and then kind of taking those opportunities of inviting the right people in to play in your world, to play in your garden, and to build this loving relationship with. So, group number 3, this is what I have for you. I hope this provides a helpful perspective of how your love life is turning around. We'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 4, those who pick Tarot Disassembled, to reveal what you need to know about your love life makeover. So, group number 4, these cards are a little bit stiffer and stickier, so I'm going to spend just a little bit more extra time than the other readings to shuffle these up here and make sure that the cards are infused with energies and intentions for group number 4. Okay, so let's dive into your love life makeover. You have here the Page of Cups. So group number 4, it seems like when it comes to love, you have really in the past approached it with a sense of looking at the possibilities and being vulnerable and hopeful, and kind of allowing love to come at you from every direction. We have this Temperance card. It could be that you've really kind of accepted, this concept of like love coming at you from different directions. It's almost as if you pretty much have used that as like a way to kind of gauge your sense of connection with others. Like, what I mean by that is like you're very accepting, or you have been very accepting of things that are different from you or unusual, or I don't want to say bizarre, but like extremes, different extremes, and very accepting and being the one to kind of make everything okay, to kind of like find that way forward between you and someone else where, you know, maybe like the way I kind of look at the extremes is, let's say someone is a Catholic school student, or graduated from Catholic school, very religious, and then ends up meeting a hardcore like biker dude, and those worlds just seem very different, but you know, making the effort to kind of blend those two worlds together. I feel like that's the kind of openness to potential for love that you've kind of put out there, like hopeful about pretty much anything and trying to make things work. You have the Four of Swords here. So group number 4, it seems like that effort, even though the intention may have been to be accepting and to find love anywhere you can, or to show that you're open to love and who you are and who people are, maybe even open to different genders or biological sex, just like being open and willing to take chances with different people. It may be that even though you've put yourself out there, it hasn't necessarily, if it's been fruitful, it's been a lot of work and possibly put you in situations where you've been hurt more times than you know, care to remember, and really are needing to kind of either rethink or need a time out to kind of heal yourself, heal your heart, maybe rethink the way you've been approaching things. You have the Five of Wands here. It could be that your attempt to be very accepting and trying to explore things that are outside of your typical day-to-day has made it that you've come up against more conflicts and different priorities, and it's kind of worn on you. You have the Ace of Wands here. But it seems like your love life is turning around in the sense of like you kind of being able to identify the right opportunities going forward. Like almost being able to, I would say, at least know who to open your heart to a little bit more, as opposed to kind of allowing that concept of almost giving a lot of people different chances. You have 6 of Pentacles here. So it may be that for you, your love life is kind of turning around in the sense of you really not being the person who gives, not being the one who makes that effort or takes those chances, but having more of an equal give and take there, in terms of what the other person is willing to invest in you, and not just being the person that just puts in all that effort. You have apology, forgiveness through mutual understandings. So it may be, again, that concept of if there are differences in ideas. Maybe you have in the past been the one to kind of, I don't want to say bend your will, but try to see the other person's perspective or be accepting of how they are because you were so willing to give people chances, willing to kind of think or feel that there's a love potential, and that if you kind of like, I don't want to say bend to their will, but you being so open to things, you willing to kind of see their side when they might not have wanted to see yours. You have this awakening, a realization shift, or discovery. So it seems like this shift or discovery really kind of does have a focus on this concept of mutual, this concept of equality. So let's see what we have here. We have shine bright like a candle. You will make it through this. So it could be that you're still going through a period of kind of, I want to say, maybe figuring out what it is that you feel is worth fighting for or not. It's almost as if what's been going on in your world is making you question, like, is it worth it even to try? Like, almost like, what's the point? But it seems like you have prioritized other people and your acceptance of other people so much in the past that you may have forgotten to shine your own light, to kind of be who you are, and to not necessarily, I want to say almost like walking on eggshells. Perhaps you've walked on eggshells in the past just to allow other people to feel more comfortable. But I feel like that shift is coming about or has come about for you. And there is a recognition that you had, like, maybe pulled back some aspects of yourself, what you thought, what you believed, just to avoid conflict, to make things easier for other people. But I feel like what's turning your love life around is you, like, feeling more that inner spark of yourself that you have been dampening. And this Ace of Wands, it may be just like you realizing that this Page of Cups in the past, like this big heart that you have, it's not ever going to go away. It's just that that's who you are. That's your beingness. And that is not dependent on someone else being with you, or dating you, or kind of saying that they love you. That exists within you. And you recognizing that it's almost a gift to share your intimate self with another person, and they kind of really have to show up for that. So who in the world are you? Getting to know the new you. So I feel like your love life is changing in terms of your sense of kind of showing off a bit, showing off who you are, knowing that there's kind of like nothing you need to apologize for about who you are or what you want in life, but more like You don't have to necessarily prove yourself to other people. You can choose to change your mind. You can choose to not be okay with something that you might have been okay with in the past. But it's as if you are embracing that inner light. And I feel like this apology is like, it's almost like you're done apologizing. You're done being so accepting, and you're focusing more on that inner light and that inner passion, that desire to kind of truly connect with the world around you. You have this isolation card. So that concept of truly connecting, like recognizing like that the way that you had been kind of approaching things by almost being so accepting made it so that you almost diminished your own desires. And here with this isolation, it's as if like this dot right here, that it's like your inner light. It is kind of, you're seeing it, you're embracing it, and it's going to grow in the way that you choose for it to grow. And this like sense of like, who in the world are you, getting to know the new you, it's you kind of embracing that. But also I feel like there is a sense of still wanting to help others, kind of lift them up. You have this magic card. So I do sense that your love life is changing in terms of like your connection to your inner light, your inner sense of joy, your truth, and like really discovering who you are. Like, who is this new you? This new you definitely isn't going to be doing things alone. There's going to be more kind of mutual, not just mutual understandings, but mutual contribution to what's there, what's growing. You have this guarded card. So I think this aspect of the like Five of Wands here, and even like the Four of Swords, this kind of like withdrawing, it may be like that's how you've kind of protected yourself. It's almost as if you kind of thought that you're protecting yourself by being so open, being so accepting, because if there's nothing wrong, like if there's no conflict because you're so accepting of everything, then what could hurt you? Like, what kind of disconnect could there be? What kind of disagreement could there be if you're agreeing to everything? But it's almost as if your inner truth was like pushing against that. And this aspect of you being guarded, you kind of dealing with that, is changing your love life. You have this balance card. I think it's really interesting that you have this temperance card for balance, and then you have this Six of Pentacles with the scales with the balance again. And then you have this balance card. You know, this sense of balance is knowing what you can accept and what you don't want to accept. It's a sense of giving what you get, balancing your inner light and your inner dark, balancing masculine and feminine energies, knowing your sense of center, like really embracing that aspect of who you are and knowing how to find yourself again. And and not necessarily get lost in all the giving. So let's see how else your love life is turning around. Group number 4. It seems like pretty deep. It's a pretty deep reading for you. But if these cards are coming out, these messages are coming out for you, then you're ready for it. You have the first house of arrival. So there is this focus now where you're turning your love life around by kind of looking at how you appear in the world, how you are showing up, your sense of self, your sense of how you want to be seen, how you see yourself. This, who in the world are you? Definitely figuring that out. You have this Venus beloved card. So group number 4, this concept of your love life turning around. What's key to that is recognizing that first and foremost, you should be in love with yourself. Love your inner light. That is kind of what's really going to turn your love life around, or is turning your love life around. This sense of knowing that you're coming from a place of love. And regardless if someone wants to recognize it, you don't need to be who they want you to be or accepting of everything that they accept in order to come from a place of love. Let's see what else we have here. Whoa, we have sexual freedom. So I do feel like this reading would apply very much to those who were very open and accepting of different types of relationship. Like I said, people of different biological sex, different genders, polyamorous type people. I feel like there is a difference between being open and kind of accepting of other people when it comes to like being curious about your sexual connection with others, and when you are kind of using sexuality for acceptance. So it may be that you kind of recognizing that for yourself, and when other people are approaching you, and like if they are saying, hey, let's try being in an open relationship, whether that's because they are just someone who is trying to get some with a bunch of different people, or they are like, hey, I just want to date. I'm not really sure if I want to be in a relationship. Let's just have, some fun. And if you're cool with that, that's fine. But if you're not cool with that, because you're looking for something serious, saying no to that doesn't mean you're necessarily a prude, or it's just like that's not for you. So I feel like what's also key to your love life turning around is you really knowing how much you're willing to give and accept when it comes of yourself and of your and sexual intimacy with others. You have this self-respect card. So group number 4, this sense of inner balance, knowing who you are, knowing what you're willing to take, figuring out who in the world you are, that new you. Like that's very exciting. The new you, this shift or discovery. And for some of you, maybe you are you went from, being in monogamous relationships and wanting to explore more. That's cool too. You have this flow. Lose yourself in a moment, an experience, or an activity. So I feel like you have in the past, you know what it's like to lose yourself. But I think the difference here is to question whether or not you are losing yourself because you are so in connection with who you are and you trust yourself and what's going on that you're enjoying this release, versus someone else kind of like you trying to accept something because another person would prefer it, or another person kind of needs it. We have this gather card. Feeling scattered? Take inventory of your thoughts and feelings. See them all in one place. Notice any patterns or connections. So here, your love life is turning around with recognizing like what in your thoughts, your feelings are you are actually shifting. What is it that is coming to your attention? Like what are you? It's almost like this is a way for you to kind of see how you've been kind of diminishing your inner light, how you've been like the old you would just be very accepting, and maybe like making things okay, where the new you wouldn't be okay with it, whatever that is. You have mouse, attention to detail. So this like taking inventory of your thoughts and feelings and attention to detail, that's really key here. So like observing what's going on, look at certain facts. Like if you even need to, write down these things, write down your thoughts and feelings, write down your prior relationships, who they were with, how long they lasted, your feelings about those relationships, how you feel about looking back upon them now. Like, do you feel good about how you felt? Does it make you proud of how you were in that relationship? It's almost very much like a critical analysis of how much you gave of yourself to make someone else happy, and how much they were willing to kind of be open to who you are and wanted to see your inner light. We have this lion, healthy ego. I feel like this first house of arrival and this lion, healthy ego, those are very, like, to me, telling of this concept of how you want to be seen, how you want to really embrace your inner passion, how this inner sense of your light, who you are, you figuring out who you are and embracing it and kind of like saying, this is who I am. If you want this, if you want to be part of this world, if you want some of this action, like show me what you got. So group number 4, I'm going to close off this reading here with 2 more cards. And these cards might have yes or no responses. So if you have a question that like is a yes or no question, and there might be 2 opportunities, 2 questions that you could ask. But let's keep going to see how else your love life is getting switched up. You have this card of independence, and the answer is maybe. It says time to clarify and seek within. It's an air card. This is the equivalent to the Queen of Swords. So this attention to detail, inventory of your thoughts and feelings, figuring out patterns and connections, like that, more of like a critical analysis of your past. Recognizing that. And it's interesting that the answer here is maybe, because it's almost like in the past, if it's, hey, do you, what kind of music do you like? Oh, I like everything. Like, well, do you like rock and roll? Yeah, why not? Like, do you like blues? Sure. Like, it's kind of like everything is. So there is no like decisiveness. It's just being open but being too open, if that makes sense. So, but the Queen of Swords is more decisive than just maybe, in my opinion. So let's get one more for you, group number 4. We have the answer of yes. We have strength and Leo season and fire. Here you have that lion, that healthy ego. The sense of like self-acceptance, this sense of your inner light, how you want to be seen, starts with kind of looking within and kind of seeing like how you may have used your power by giving other people more power, by giving them more, like deferring to them more, kind of allowing them to take the lead more. I feel like you are feeling that you want to take the lead. Like that is a huge shift for you. And something that you're still discovering, how you can really, it's like you need to kind of accept that shift is taking place, and recognize that you can be so much more than you have allowed yourself to be in the past, even though you thought that you were, by being more accepting and more open and more willing to kind of see things other ways, that it was showing who you were. I feel like it's okay to kind of scale down what your preferences are, what you're willing to accept, who you are, and really kind of figure out, like this isolation, figure out your truth, and how you want to be seen in this world. And this concept of like the Queen of Swords, someone who is logical, someone who is objective and sees things as they are, and protective of their heart, not necessarily unfeeling, but protective of their heart, because they want to make sure the person that they give it to is the right person, in this sense of like strength, like inner desire, inner power, courage, to kind of show who you are and go after what it is you want. It seems like this is a very huge shift and a major love life makeover. So group number 4, this is what I have for you. I hope this provides a helpful perspective of how your love life is turning around. We'll see you next time. Take care.